Welcome to the Deep Dive. We cut through the noise and get straight to the insights you need. Today, we're digging into something, well, genuinely fascinating. It's how individual apps, often just small operations, are making serious money. We're talking significant revenue without needing massive VC backing or huge teams. Think about this, Einstein Homework Helper, pulling in something like $60,000 a month.
Wow.
Or Potion. It's an app that turns Notion pages into websites. Built by an individual, making around $8K a month, and then sold for $300,000.
Sold for $300K. Yeah, that's a great exit.
And this one really got me. The Rock Identifier app. Apparently, it brings in $700,000 a month.
It's kind of incredible, isn't it? Because, when most people hear building apps, they immediately think, super complex coding, right? Or needing to be some kind of tech genius or hiring this big team.
Exactly. That's the common perception.
But what we're going to challenge today is exactly that idea. These aren't just like flukes. These are often just, regular individuals making substantial income. It really proves the barriers to entry have just plummeted.
So it's about stripping away the mystery, showing it's not just for the Silicon Valley types anymore. Our mission here in this deep dive is to pull back that curtain. We want to show you how you can actually make money with apps. We'll break it down into, say, 3 key areas. First, how do you find those winning ideas, the ones that really connect?
Right. Idea generation.
Second, how can you build these apps, without hiring developers or needing to code yourself?
The no-code aspect, yeah. It's huge now.
And finally, how to market them effectively. We'll even touch on a pretty clever trick some big apps use to go viral, all aiming to help you get towards maybe your first $1,000.
And what's really powerful here, I think, is the business model itself. The app model, it really stands out. A few core reasons. First up, recurring revenue. It's basically a subscription model, like Netflix, right? Users pay monthly until they cancel.
That consistent income stream.
Exactly. It creates this predictable, wonderfully steady income. For a small setup, that's just gold.
Yeah, predictability is key. And it's not just the steady cash, it's also the scalability, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
You could have 10 users, maybe 100,000 users. It's still the same app doing all the work.
The app itself does the heavy lifting. It handles the growth, which makes it incredibly efficient.
You mentioned the Locket app earlier.
Yeah, Locket, making $300,000 a month. And get this, fewer than 10 employees.
Wow. That just shows the leverage, does it?
It really does. And the third big advantage, sellability.
The exit potential.
Precisely. These aren't just income streams, they're assets, valuable assets. You can build an app, get it making decent money, and then one day you can sell it, often for a really significant payout.
Like that Potion app again, $8Ks a month.
Sold for $300,000. It just underlines that long-term value. It's not just about the monthly income, it's the potential final sale too.
Yeah. Okay, so the model itself is clearly powerful. Recurring revenue, scalability, sellability. It's compelling. But okay, for someone listening thinking, all right, I'm interested, the biggest hurdle is often just, where do I start? How do you find that spark, that idea?
Right, the idea stage. Well, the core strategy, it goes beyond just like spotting a trend. It's about really digging into why a trend exists.
Yeah.
What's the underlying need? Maybe something people haven't even articulated yet, and where is it still, underserved?
So less trend chasing, more market detective work.
Exactly. You're looking for one or two things, really. Either a clear gap in the market, an unmet need nobody's really tackling well, or you look for something that's already getting some traction, but you think, hey, I can make this significantly better.
Okay, so finding those ghosts in the machine, problems people just put up with because they don't see an app solution yet. So where do we actually do this market detection?
Yeah.
What are the tools, the resources?
There are a few really good places. First, check out a website called Sensor Tower.
Sensor Tower, okay.
You can use it to estimate app downloads, get a rough idea of revenue. It's great for studying apps that are already proving themselves, high performers.
Who's working? Makes sense.
Second, I always point people towards GetLaca. That's L-A-C-A. It's a database specifically for SaaS companies, software as a service, and it often includes revenue figures.
Oh, nice. So you can see growth trends.
Exactly. See the fastest growing apps, identify hot niches. It helps you spot where the market energy is. And third, for more, let's say, qualitative insights, stories. I really like Start a Story by Pat Walls.
Pat Walls, okay.
He has content, a YouTube channel where founders share their origin stories, how they found their idea, how they built it, really valuable context.
That sounds like a real treasure trove of info. And I think you mentioned there's even a list somewhere, like pre-compiled examples.
Yeah, exactly. There's a list floating around of about 20 apps, all founded by individuals or really small teams, and each one is making at least $5,000 a month. Studying those is a fantastic starting point. Real case studies.
So you're not just guessing in the dark. You're looking at proven models.
Precisely. And when you study those, you often see a pattern emerge, a kind of secret to their success. It's the single feature approach.
The single feature, what do you know?
Well, a super common mistake is trying to build these really complicated apps right from the start. Too many features, trying to do everything.
Yeah, feature creep. It's easy to fall into that trap. Thinking more is always better.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
But the winning strategy often is to focus. Develop one, just one, super specific feature and make it ridiculously good.
Get in that laser focus.
This feature needs to solve a very specific problem, something that causes users real friction. A headache, takes too many steps, wastes time. And crucially, that one feature, it has to feel polished, complete, right from day one. If it feels half-baked, people just won't stick around.
Got it. Don't ship something that feels unfinished. Can you give an example? An app that really nailed this?
Photo Room is like the perfect example. When they started, their whole focus was just one thing, removing backgrounds from photos. One tap. That's it.
Nothing else. No filters, no text.
Nope. Not initially. They didn't try to be a full photo editor. They just did that one thing really, really well.
And the result?
The result. Photo Room reportedly made $94 million in 2024. That's around $700,000 a month.
Wow. From just removing backgrounds initially.
Exactly. Only after they absolutely perfected that core feature did they start adding more, like AI backgrounds and stuff. The lesson is super clear. Focus, nail one thing exceptionally well first.
That's a powerful lesson. Focus is everything. Okay, so you found your idea. You've honed it on that killer single feature. Now, getting it out there. Marketing. I heard you say it's crucial to have a marketing plan before you even build. Why so early?
It's fundamental, especially if you're working solo or in a small team. The reality is selling is often harder than building. So many people build an amazing product, truly great, but then they hit a wall trying to get customers. So having a solid plan up front, knowing how you'll reach people, how you'll convince them before you invest all that time in building, it just prevents building something nobody discovers.
Building in a vacuum, yeah. Avoid that. So what about these apps that seem to just blow up, go viral without spending heaps on ads? How does that happen?
Yeah, the organic growth dream. The Locket app, the one making $300K a month, is a prime case study here. They reportedly hit 1 million downloads a month without spending on paid ads. Zero ad spend for that level of growth.
1 million downloads. How?
TikTok. They leverage TikTok videos brilliantly. Really simple stuff. Videos just showing the app being used, like someone flipping their phone over to show the Locket widget or friends sending pictures through it.
Okay, very visual, very native to the platform.
Exactly. And they used a mix. Some influencers, sure, but also what you might call burner accounts.
Burner accounts.
Yeah, like anonymous throwaway accounts. They use these to post content that felt really authentic, really grassroots, not polished ads, just like real people using a cool app they found. Millions of views.
That's smart. Tapping into that authentic discovery feel on TikTok. But okay, hiring influencers, even micro-influencers can add up. Is there a way to hack this, maybe with AI?
Absolutely. And this is where things get really interesting. The AI marketing hack. You've probably seen them, right? Those TikToks promoting something, but they look like a totally real off-the-cuff review, someone just talking to their phone.
Yeah, all the time. They feel very genuine.
Well, increasingly, the person in that video isn't real. It's AI generated.
Seriously, AI actors.
Yep. You can use AI now to create these incredibly human-like videos. They're super effective for promoting products, apps included, because they bypass that ad blindness people have. And they cost way less.
That's kind of mind-blowing. How does that even work? What tools are we talking about?
One of the top tools for this right now is called Aratz, A-R-A-T-Z. It lets you create videos that, honestly, look and sound 100% human.
Yeah.
You pick an AI actor, gender, age, even the setting they're in. Bathroom, Christmas scene, yoga studio.
You can specify the background.
Yeah, and even what they're holding. Dumbbells, a laptop, a pet. Whatever fits your product or message. Then you just upload your script, maybe something you got from ChatGPT.
Okay.
And you can tweak everything, the speaking speed, the voice tone, the accent, make it match your target audience perfectly.
So I could literally generate a script like,
Uh,
my 9-year-old daughter knows way more about rocks now than I ever did, all thanks to this cool app we found. It's got like 1 million downloads, #1 rock identifier app.
exactly that.
And an AI actor delivers it looking totally natural, like a real parent sharing something they found useful.
Precisely. And the huge advantage, scalability and cost. Hiring one human influencer could be hundreds, maybe thousands, for one video. With a tool like Ahrefs, you could crank out 10, 20, 30 different versions a day.
Wow, testing different hooks, different visuals.
Exactly. You can iterate like crazy, find what resonates without breaking the bank. It dramatically scales your marketing content creation.
Okay, AI marketing, that's a serious hack. So we know how to find ideas, we've got marketing strategies. Now, the building part, building the app itself, especially without coding.
Yeah.
How real is this for someone who's not technical?
It's incredibly real.
Yeah.
We are genuinely living in a pretty special time for creators because of this. It's now totally possible to build an entire fully functional app using AI. Even integrate things like Stripe for payments, all without writing one line of code.
Just prompting AI like you would for text or images.
Basically, yeah. You're prompting it to build application components. It's a complete game changer for solo founders or non-technical folks.
That really does feel like science fiction becoming reality. What are some specific tools people should look at?
The landscape's growing fast. Lovable is one. It's known for being really easy to use, completely no code. The downside, it can get a bit pricey depending on usage. They have message caps.
Okay, lovable for ease of use. What else?
Cursor AI is often considered like the best overall right now. If you're willing to be maybe just a tiny bit technical, it offers more control.
A bit more power user friendly.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also one of the cheapest options, which is a big plus.
Good to know. Any others?
V0 is another one making waves. And Replit has AI features for building too. The main point is the capability is here right now. Individuals can build real working apps without needing traditional coding skills.
And let's say you get stuck. Even with these no-code tools, you hit a roadblock. What then? Is there a lifeline?
Absolutely. Your secret weapon here, ChatGPT.
Good old ChatGPT.
Seriously.
Yeah.
If you run into an issue, something's not working right, treat ChatGPT as your first consultant. Ask it the question, describe the problem. It can provide solutions, explain concepts, guide you through it. It's like having an on-demand tech co-founder or coding mentor without the equity split. It helps you get unstuck fast.
Okay, that's brilliant advice. Use AI to build and troubleshoot. So, all right, we've got the idea. We're building it code-free, marketing it smart. But thinking long-term, how do you make an app that lasts, especially with that recurring revenue model? What separates a flash in the pan from a sustainable business?
Great question. There are two absolutely crucial rules, I'd say, if you want that long-term success, particularly with subscriptions. Rule number 1, your app must solve a recurring and painful problem.
Recurring and painful, okay.
Recurring problem means people need to use your solution again and again. That naturally leads to recurring usage, which obviously directly translates into recurring revenue. That's the engine of the subscription model.
So not a one-time need. You mentioned a logo design app earlier.
Exactly. You need a logo maybe once, right?
Yeah.
That's a poor fit for a subscription.
Yeah.
But think about handling receipts and expense tracking. For a business owner, that's a pain every single month, maybe every week.
Oh, yeah. Constant headache.
Right. So an app like, say, Receipts AI, which automates that, it solves an ongoing tedious problem. That's recurring value. Here's a hot tip. Look for the boring but painful problems.
Boring but painful? Like what?
Things like taxes, organizing study notes, inventory tracking for small shops, employee scheduling, stuff that isn't glamorous. But these are persistent, often manual headaches for people or businesses. An app that automates or simplifies these, that's where serious profit often lies.
Yeah.
Solving boring problems can be very lucrative.
That makes a lot of sense. Find the recurring grind. Okay, what's rule number 2 for long-term success?
Rule number 2, design for stickiness.
Stickiness.
Yeah. Once a user subscribes, once they start using your app, integrating it into their life or workflow, you want to make it really hard for them to leave. The act of switching to something else should feel genuinely painful. It creates this subtle but really powerful lock-in. There's no point getting loads of customers if they just churn out after a month.
Okay, make it hard to break up with your app. Can you give an example of an app that's super sticky, where leaving feels like too much effort?
Notion is a classic example, the note-taking and workspace app.
Oh yeah, I use Notion. I see what you mean.
Right. Once you start organizing your notes, your projects, maybe your whole life in there,
Yeah.
You become deeply invested. Your entire second brain is in Notion. Moving all that stuff somewhere else, it's a massive headache. It feels painful to even think about switching, even if another cool Note app comes along.
Definitely. The switching cost is high.
Exactly. Same with accounting software like QuickBooks. All your financial history is there.
Yeah.
The longer you use it, the harder it is to migrate everything. That creates incredible stickiness. The hassle of switching outweighs almost any perceived benefit of a competitor.
Got it. So solve a recurring pain and then make your solution so integrated that leaving is a pain in itself.
If you can nail those two concepts, recurring pain and stickiness, you dramatically increase your app's power and its potential for real, sustained success.
Yeah, those aren't just features. They feel like foundational pillars.
Absolutely. They're core design principles for building something that lasts in the app world, turning casual users into loyal, long-term customers.
Wow. What an incredible deep dive today. Seriously packed with insights. We've covered how regular people are genuinely making serious money with apps, how to find those winning ideas, looking for gaps, improving what's there, using tools like Sensor Tower, GetLuckka, being that market detective. We saw the power of focusing on that single feature with Photo Room and how marketing can explode using TikTok or even these AI-generated videos with tools like Airats.
The AI stuff is moving so fast.
Right. And then the whole revolution of building apps without code, using AI tools like Lovable, Cursor AI, and having ChatGPT as your instant problem solver.
It really democratizes the whole process.
Totally. And finally, designing for the long haul, solving those recurring, painful, maybe even boring problems, and building in that crucial stickiness.
It really is a compelling landscape right now. The barriers are just lower than they've ever been for building something profitable in the app space. Opportunities that used to belong only to big tech companies are now open.
So as you go about your day, we want to leave you with this thought to chew on. What boring but painful problem do you run into? Maybe in your own life, at work, or maybe you see others struggling with something routinely. Could an app solve that? Thinking about it, my own tax receipts. Every year. Same mess, same last-minute panic. An app that genuinely automated that. Well, that would be huge for me.
See? Boring but painful.
Exactly. It really hits home. And remember, some of these seemingly boring problems are making people a lot of money right now. So the question is, how might you apply these insights? Could you turn a common frustration you see into a powerful, maybe even profitable solution? Something to think about.